Are you having difficulty getting your weight loss moving in the right direction? You know, it might not just be the food you eat, it could be the stress level. And we're going to talk about that today. I'm Dr. Keith. I'm a chiropractor in private practice for the past 27 years.
And I'm Dr. Becky. I'm a college instructor of the science of nutrition. Welcome to Two Fit Docs, where we turn weight loss resistance into weight loss success. And weight loss resistance is what we're going to talk about today. And you're right, it's not always the foods we eat. Weight loss is a hormonally controlled thing in our bodies, and one of the big stress hormones that we have in our bodies is cortisol. Cortisol can block weight loss. So why don't you explain real quickly how that works?
Right. So cortisol is kind of it comes from the adrenal glands that sit on top of the kidneys. It's kind of your fight or flight hormone, and there is a natural rhythm to cortisol every day. Right. It's supposed to go up about the time that you're waking up, and then it kind of gradually drops back and goes pretty level and lower through the day. Now, if you're kind of overstressed, you're going to find that that's like, it's a little hump, and then it's like really blunted. But cortisol is important. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's supposed to be there. So what happens with cortisol is that in the morning hours, right around the time you're waking up, cortisol is actually kind of what wakes you up.
Yes.
It starts your metabolism going, it gets your body temperature up, and it also signals the liver to start making glucose available so that you've got that energy. Now, if you don't have any glucose available because maybe you're on the ketogenic diet, right? Mm-hmm. It will start the process of gluconeogenesis, so you get some glucose in there.
Right, and even if you're on a ketogenic diet, you can expect higher glucose in the morning. That's not a terrible thing.
Right.
This is a normal function of the body. Right,
but if your glucose goes up, you get insulin, being released, and we've talked about it before. When insulin is in the bloodstream, your fat burning shuts off.
Right.
So it is something that we've got to address.
Right. Right. So cortisol goes up normally in the morning, so we wake up, and then it goes down gradually until that night it's down low, so we can fall asleep. So that's when life is working the way it's supposed to. But when you are chronically stressed, so your stress level stays high because you get in the car and you drive in traffic, and then you go to your work and you're stressed, and you come home and you're stressed. Not that home life is stressful.
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful.
You're constantly getting these bursts of cortisol. Well, what's happening as a result of that? More glucose is being produced. Insulin is higher, and insulin then therefore is blocking fat loss. So stress can certainly interfere with your body's ability to lose weight.
Right. And I have a theory. I haven't really checked it out, but my theory is that, when we're stressed out, you heard the term, stress eating.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
People get stressed out, and then they feel like they just need to have something to eat. Mm-hmm. That might be just a part of that up and down, the blood glucose going up, insulin going up, driving blood glucose down, and you get those low blood sugars, makes you want to eat. Yeah. That's just a theory. I don't know if that's true, but it kind of makes sense in my head. Mm-hmm. That because I know I've done that before. You get stressed out, and it wasn't ice cream for me, but it would be chips or something else.
It would have been ice cream for me.
Yeah, I need to have a bag of chips. If I'm working on the computer, I'm getting all stressed out, or working on some accounting, getting stressed out. Bag of chips right there. Yeah. And I got to make sure I don't get like Dorito dust fingerprints on everything. Yeah. Well, so we both developed some ways of dealing with stress, and they're different from each other. We're going to talk a little bit about that and tell you what we do. You've got to find out what works for you.
Yeah, it's very individual.
It is very individual, and it does take a little bit of work, but it is worth it. My stress level. And I kind of watch my heart rate too with my Fitbit. Yeah. I can tell if I'm just kind of doing normal things and my heart rate is elevated. Yeah. Then I realize I must be stressed and not really recognizing it. You push it down. Mm-hmm. But I found a way to it can kind of mitigate that to a great degree.
So what is your go-to stress reliever?
Well, so what I've been doing lately is I found a video on YouTube that is it's Bob Proctor, and you might, if you ever watched the movie The Secret, what was that? 15 years ago now that came out or something like that. You might be familiar with that name. He's a motivational speaker, has success programs. He's been around seems like in a long time. But I kind of relate to him because he's kind of a grandfather figure. But I found a 10-hour video that is an entire 2-day seminar that he put on back in the mid-'80s. So I just let that run during my day. As I'm sitting at my desk, I just have it running in the background. And I started over and I started over and I started over. I've probably, who knows, at this point, maybe I've listened to it 20, 25 times. Mm-hmm. I just let it inundate. And it is funny because different things will hit me on different days. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. But because I do that, it keeps me in a much more positive mindset. Right. Now, the other thing I do, mm-hmm. I don't read newspapers. Mm-hmm. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the TVs at the gym. I don't click or look at anything on the internet, any news item that's coming through. And a lot of times, if somebody says, "Did you hear, about this?" I'll say, "You know what? I don't want to hear about it," mm-hmm. because that stuff just starts a negative vibe going. Mm-hmm. I've even been been better in the car when I'm driving. I don't,
You've been better.
Well, like my mug says, I love people mostly.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, and it's not that we don't want to be informed about what's going on in the world, but when something really important is going on, one of our moms will call,
yeah,
or
yeah.
We will find out about it. We just don't want to have that in our heads, and repetition is one of the big ways. I think if we could nail down how we deal with stress, I think it's repetitive, positive things and flushing away as much of the negatives that we can, because I do the same thing. There's a book that was written by Byron Katie. It's called Loving What Is. I just find it very soothing, and I have it on an audiobook, and I put it, I have this old iPod now. This is also like probably 15 years old or whatever, but it still works.
It still works.
And so I have it by my bed, actually. If I ever wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then your brain starts working, I could stay awake for hours. So what I do instead is put those headphones in and I go to chapter 5 and I start listening from there. And, it's just kind of a positive reinforcement, and it always allows me to get back to sleep and be more positive. Yeah. Another thing, if you're looking for somewhere to start, like Keith said, find something motivational on YouTube and just put it on loops and listen to it. This is a little book called Loving What Is, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. This is like the simplest little book. You can read it in an hour or so, but it is great for just kind of putting yourself, making yourself more of a priority in life. I always say, if you don't feel like you're worth changing for, you're not going to change. You have to feel good about yourself. You have to love yourself in order for this change to happen. This book will get you there. I highly recommend it. It is short and sweet, and it makes you kind of repeat this whole thing to you.
$4 on Amazon, right?
It is. It's like $4 on Amazon. Yeah. So there's just a couple of ideas for you, just something that we wanted to kind of get out there to you. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. It's just, stress is just one of those subtle little things that I think we just don't realize. It's so insidious. It just sneaks up on you. Mm-hmm. So you really have to be conscious of it and really kind of, think about what's going on every day. Mm-hmm. And, if you're having a tough time getting that scale moving, that's something to at least look at. That may be part of what's going on. Yeah. All right, we are going to head out. We're going to go drive somewhere. I will report to you if anything bad happens with Keith. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, please click subscribe. We will be back next week. We'll see you.